Hey guys, welcome to another build tutorial. I'm NetherCloud, and today we're going to be tackling an AFK vine farm. The first part of this farm we're going to build is the redstone, and we're going to start with an Etho hopper clock. I'll put a link to Etho's channel in the description. He's an amazing Minecrafter, and this is a circuit that you're more than likely going to learn to build if you've been playing Minecraft for any length of time. We start by putting the hoppers going into each other, a comparator coming out of each into a solid block, and a redstone dust on top of each of those solid blocks. We're then going to grab a sticky piston, catch the edge of that redstone, and put them facing inward. In between the two pistons, we're going to throw a redstone block. And then for our purposes, we do want an on-off switch so that it's not running all the time in our world. So we're going to put a lever on one side. It doesn't matter which side since it's symmetrical. And then we're going to come over here and fill it up with items. We are going to need 5 stacks. We want the longest setting this clock can do, and that is it. It's about 4 minutes, and that'll mean that we can use that to trigger a circuit that will refresh our shears, meaning that they won't despawn while we're waiting for the current ones to break while we're AFK. To get the signal off here, we're going to place an observer here, and that is going to go into some redstone dust that's going to be here, here, and here. Now, I am using iron, but you guys can use any solid blocks you want. Just make sure they are solid blocks, as there is some trickery here. So we are going to put a repeater coming off of this redstone here, and then 2 more here and here. The observer is going to go into the repeater, and then we're going to have another sticky piston here and another block here of redstone. And then over here, we're going to start building our dropper circuit for our shears. We're going to put a dropper facing up and a hopper facing into it. This circuit, when triggered, will pull this away just long enough for the old shears to go into the hopper, and then it will pulse again and pulse this dropper as well as this one facing sideways to push out another shears. So there will always be one sitting on top of this hopper for us to grab if ours breaks. Now let's go ahead and throw some in here for later. The next thing we need to do is place a couple of blocks to make sure that those shears don't actually go flying off away from that hopper. We're going to stick a temporary block here so that we can place a trapdoor right there. And we need to come out one more block up here and put a lever so that we can power that trapdoor. It's very important that it's out here and not on top of the hopper flipped up, because then you would have to power it from this block. And if you did that, it would interfere with the dropper circuit. So again, make sure that it's out here and not back there. And that is all of the redstone that we need for this system. With that out of the way, we can start planning out our water streams and fleshing out the rest of our farm. First, let's throw a block there, and you could use a half slab or an upside down stair here, and I'll explain why in a moment. First, let's start getting a few blocks placed down. And this is where we're going to have our return. You're going to be coming through here like this, getting lined up, and then going down, and the farm is going to be here. So, with these blocks in place, coming through the return, we're going to want to get through here as quick as possible, as we're not harvesting anything, and we're just punching the wall while we come around. That being said, I'm going to throw some blue ice in here, as you do go fastest on blue ice. And we're going to need another piece in here. And this is because items sometimes will get caught up in our player water stream. And if they do, they'll be aligned with this block over here and still in the water, so they'll get caught in the hoppers that are going to go here. We're going to do that in a second, though, because before we put the hoppers in, I want to start measuring out our water streams. We're going to put a piece of packed ice here with a pressure plate, and then same thing over here on this side. Water needs to travel 5 or less tiles in order to have enough velocity for the player to be pushed over a piece of ice. If this goes 6 tiles, we won't make it all the way across the ice. Did a bunch of testing on that, and that seems to be the science on it. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but through all of my testing, that has been the math that I've come up with. Now, going into the farm itself, after the packed ice, you're going to want to put a solid block. Again, it doesn't matter which solid block. And then you're going to want to put 4 pieces of soul sand. This is going to slow you down and allow you to collect more of the vines as you go over the soul sand. And then it's just a matter of repeating this pattern for as long as you want to make the ice farm. Packed ice, pressure plate, solid block, 1, 2, 3, 4, soul sand, boop, 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 and you do that as long as you want to make it. When you get to the end, you're going to place another piece of packed ice into a solid block and continue the pattern, but we're going to go around the corner. And what we're going to do is we're going to link all of this up with solid blocks coming down here. Now these blocks aren't actually essential to be solid. You could make these pretty much anything you want here in the middle. I chose solid blocks, and in my world I did some decorating with trapdoors, but we don't need to worry about that. We just need to keep continuing the pattern on down here. And now that we have the loop go all the way around, we are going to add our hoppers in here. And we did that so that we can put chains coming down here, because that will hold back our water, but still give us the ability to grab any vines that land on top of them because they are not a full block, which means we'll keep a lot of efficiency. Let's add our water streams. And now our player cycling is complete. We now just have to come over here and build out the rest of the farm. We're going to come back so that we have 3 blocks and then the wall. And this wall is going to come all the way across. It also needs to be 3 tall. At this point, we need to build a staggered wall of blocks coming across. And this is what it looks like from the front. Now, all we have to do is put our vines in, and we're actually done with this farm. Let's do it. And now that we have all our vines up, the very last thing to do is to fill in this area with water streams. Now, our vine farm is complete. We just have to wait for the vines to grow. All right, now that we've got some vine growth, let me show you guys how to actually operate this. What you're going to want to do is set up your inventory like this, with your main hand having a set of shears and your offhand having a good food source. I just grabbed golden carrots real quick out of habit. You're going to come over and flick on your clock, which is going to start the process of putting shears in that box. And then you're just going to have to line yourself up, which just involves getting into the water stream, facing forward, and then hold down both mouse clicks. If your hunger bar goes down, you'll automatically eat, and when you don't have to eat, you'll just continually shear as you go around. You won't get all of them every single time if it's fully grown in, but once you get going on the farm, they'll grow a little bit and you'll shear a little bit. And if you want to stop that loss, you can just put a wall in where that vine went. Now that we're going around the backside, we can still actually reach some of them, which is why we have the soul soil underneath us still. And that's basically the farm, ladies and gentlemen. The soul sand idea is actually something I picked up from Il Mango, so I'm going to put him in the description as well. Definitely check him out. He's got some amazing stuff on his channel. And if you guys have enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please hit that like and subscribe button if you're new. This has been a great time for me, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day.